Hello guys, it is Gate of Theories here, and Speak Now Taylor's version was announced on the King's coronation this weekend, and I was absolutely speechless, no matter how quite ironic that is. But with a new Taylor's version album, it means it's not long now till the vault doors will open and we will be able to scramble through a code and work out what unreleased tracks are coming. But maybe we already know a few of them. Today, let's see if we can work out what these tracks are going to be just from this announcement. Let's get into it. But before we go any further, please make sure that you've clicked that red subscribe button down below and have your notifications turned on so that you get notified every time we make any brand new videos. Taylor Swift announced Speak Now Taylor's version will contain 22 tracks, including 6 tracks from the vault. That means 16 of the original tracks all become Taylor's versions. The important thing to note here is that all of these tracks will be solely written by Taylor Swift. That was the big thing of Speak Now when it first released, that it was an entire album purely written by her. When Taylor announced Speak Now Taylor's version, she wrote, "I always looked at this album as my album, and the lump in my throat expands to a quivering voice as I say this. Thank you, dear reader, it finally will be. I consider this music to be, along with your faith in me, the best thing that's ever been mine. Yours, Taylor." This album, out of all of Taylor's previous albums, is one that was most damaged by Scooter Braun Steel, since she couldn't own the songs that she had written herself. And Taylor clearly wants her version to be all hers, so that means no tracks written by any sort of collaborators on this album. Now that might mean no features like we've had with Fearless Taylor's version vault tracks and Red Taylor's version vault tracks, but we just don't know yet. But we've already seen this take place, with Taylor making sure that this album will only be written by her, with the release of 4 songs a few months ago, back along with All of the Girls You Loved Before. If this was a movie, which was originally on Speak Now Deluxe Edition, wasn't fully written by Swift, and therefore has been released as part of Fearless Taylor's version instead. Safe and Sound was then released on Red Taylor's version instead of Speak Now to ensure this as well, along with Eyes Open, which might have been written by Taylor, but made sense to go along with its Hunger Games counterpart. So, with only 16 tracks from the original album, it means we aren't getting any of the special editions of the Speak Now tracks on the album. I do hope we get them as individual remixes, but they're not going to be on the album itself. That includes Mind Pop remix and Back to December and Haunted acoustic versions, leaving the 16 tracks being Mine, Sparks Fly, Back to December, Speak Now, Dear John, Mean, The Story of Us, Never Grow Up, Enchanted, Better Than Revenge, Innocent, Haunted, Last Kiss, Long Live, Ours, and Superman. So those are our 16 tracks. Now let's have a think about what our vault tracks might be. The issue here is that a lot of Taylor Swift's unreleased tracks that we know about are from 2004, 2003, 2005, very early days Taylor Swift. It means that when debut album is going to be getting a Taylor's version, there will be so many unreleased songs that we could choose from for the vault tracks that there's just going to be too many to count. The problem is that there's not a lot of vault tracks that we really know about from the era of Speak Now, let alone vault tracks that are from that era, but also are only written by Taylor Swift, because as we've said, this is going to be solely hers. But what do we have to go off? Well, a few months back we got a leak about potential Taylor Swift tracks that have now been added to the music industry's software to make sure that it can be added for streaming and for sales and CDs and all that sort of stuff. These included 4 tracks: Better Off, Drama Queen, Castles Crumbling, and Bother Me. Now, the issue with some of these is that Drama Queen was not self-written. It was written by Taylor Swift, but also Johnson Martin. And Better Off is also not self-written. It was written by Swift as well, but also Oral Robert Ellis. So that means that these 2 songs, whilst they have been leaked, it's less likely that they're going to be vault tracks, considering this is Taylor's album. She keeps on saying it's mine. We're going to make sure that it's only songs that are purely Taylor Swift's. That does leave Castles Crumbling, which does seem very, very likely considering it was written around the time of Speak Now and is only purely written by Taylor Swift. We also have Bother Me, which also was written around this time and is self-written, so is also likely going to be a vault track. Another track that I've came across is Let's Go, or sometimes it's called Battle. That was also self-written by Taylor Swift around the time of Speak Now as well. So those are the potential vault tracks that we have so far: Castles Crumbling, Bother Me, and Let's Go, or Battle, depending on what you want to call it, which means there's still 3 more tracks that we could potentially see. And all of those tracks that I've mentioned do seem to have some sort of correlation with Taylor's caption that came along with the post about Speak Now Taylor's version. These involve stuff like flailing, flying, and crashing, kind of similar to Castles Crumbling and going into battle. They involve stuff like brutal honesty, but there's also a lot of other different Easter eggs that are probably in this caption, but we just don't know what song they're talking about yet. Such as wild wistfulness. Taylor has been using the word wild a lot throughout all of these recent posts. Maybe that means that we're going to be getting a vault song called Wild. There is a vault song called Wild Flowers, but we don't really know much information about that. We're not really sure when it was released, so maybe that's a potential vault song. It's also interesting that Taylor decided to add in the line "Dear Reader" when she posted about Speak Now Taylor's version, obviously referencing her most recent song from the Midnight's 3 AM edition. Maybe there's something in Dear Reader that hints to a potential vault song. It's possible, but for now, those are the vault songs that we have, and I cannot wait for Speak Now Taylor's version releasing on 7th of July. But anyway, guys, that's the end of this video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, make sure that you smash that like button down below and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Guys, let me know down below in the comments, what do you think about these track lists? Do you reckon that these 3 songs will be the vault tracks on Speak Now Taylor's version? Do you have any idea about what other vault tracks we might have? Or do you reckon that we might be getting vault tracks that do involve other writers? Currently, I don't think so, but let me know all your thoughts down there. And as always, we've been here on Gate of Theories. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.
One of us seems to circle the other. As you go, you remain a stranger to me, to you. But our pieces left uncovered.